There exists a road deep in the mountains of Tennessee and North Carolina where only the brave or stupid dare to go. And I went there. We're at the Phillips Historic Inn Hotel.
Historic doesn't mean cool, just means really old.
In Robbins, North Carolina, getting ready to do the Tail of the Dragon. Zandon is unloading the motorcycles from the trailers. I'm gonna go help him do that now. Notice the Suburban in the video? Funny story behind that. Originally, my friend's dad had suggested that we trailer the motorcycles and attach it to the back of my CRV and tow them out there that way. When I got to my friend's house, he had the trailer hooked up to his dad's Suburban and we just loaded them on and go. Kind of assumed that his dad knew that we were taking the Suburban. Anyway, we get down the interstate and get up to speed and the trailer starts swaying. So we pull over, take a look at it, and then end up calling my friend's dad for advice on what was going on. Well, his dad had set up the trailer to tow behind my CRV, so he had it to where the trailer would have been flat behind my CRV, but on the Suburban, which sits a lot higher, the trailer was pitched, which was causing it to sway really bad. Got that all fixed up, dropped the hitch a little bit lower, took off. No more problems. After unloading the motorcycles, we jumped on them and took off to the Tail of the Dragon. Well, we rode what we thought was the Tail of the Dragon. I had shared my location with my friend's dad, so he knew where we were at. And it was the next morning that he called us and goes, "Hey, how was the Tail of the Dragon?" We're like, "Great." And he goes, "You weren't on the Tail of the Dragon."
Come to find out, we took the wrong turn and we ended up doing the Moonshiner 28 route. That one is on Carolina 28, and it used to be a moonshine run route back during the Prohibition. Beautiful drive, beautiful rivers, beautiful mountain, beautiful lakes. It's all just extremely beautiful. We think somebody drove off the road. When we passed one way, there was a cop and a side-by-side standing at the edge of one of the turns. And then when we got to the end of our route, we turned around and came back. And a cop followed me for about 5 miles until I pulled over on the side and let him pass. And about 3 miles later, the cars coming in the opposite direction were flashing their lights. So I thought they were warning me that there was a speed trap. When we finally got to it, there was flashing lights everywhere, ambulances, it looked like a search and rescue car, and there were 7 or 8 people pulling on a rope over the edge of the mountain. We couldn't see what they were pulling up. We don't know who or what went over. Hopefully they're okay.
Welcome to the Tail of the Dragon, Highway 129 in Tennessee and part of North Carolina. It is 11 miles of road with 319 curves. It's pretty intense. The section that we just drove was real pretty, goes by a lake, and it smelled really sweet like honeysuckles. That was a pleasant surprise. All right, here we go back the other way. At the start of the Tail of the Dragon, there's a really neat gift shop there. They've got this huge statue of a dragon. After you ride the Tail of the Dragon, you go to that gift shop and they've got a bucket of Sharpies hanging on the wall and you signed your name on the building. One of the cool things they do here is the Tree of Shame. If you lose a part, if you damage anything while you're out riding the Tail of the Dragon, you're supposed to hang it on this tree. Not only is there the Tail of the Dragon to drive, but there's hundreds of miles of incredible roads that you can take your car on, your motorcycle on. One of the rides we also did was the Cherahula Skyway. It is 43 miles of road that just rides along the ridge of the mountains. Along the way, Zandon even had a wild turkey run out in front of him, and we even got to see a little bear hanging out on the side of the road. This is surreal. My friend's motorcycle didn't even have a gas gauge, always having to guess how much fuel was left in his motorcycle. Some of you may be wondering what happens when it rains and you're on a motorcycle. Well, you get really wet. It dropped about 15 degrees from the time it started raining, and we are all soaked through, and it's really cold, even with the seat and handlebar warmers on.
Lessons learned from this trip. Pack rain gear and cold weather gear. 5,400 feet in May in the mountains. It's cold. It's very cold.
I really have nothing to talk about, but I'm making a video. And it is really pretty out here. And it's really fun driving a motorcycle. And it's really awesome. And that's it.
We loaded the motorcycles back up. We would have stayed out longer if it wasn't for the cold weather and rain. Got to stop at one of my favorite barbecue restaurants in Asheville, where we picked out on some barbecue. I also got what looked like this delicious cookie with a Reese's peanut butter cup in it, but it was a major disappointment.
That's it for our trip to the Tail of the Dragon. Yesterday we did 92 miles total, and today we did 175 miles total. So over the 2 days, that's 267 miles. Well worth the drive, and highly recommend coming out here to Tail of the Dragon. Extremely beautiful, even in the rain and the cold. It's worth it.